Hello, Jerry here. Welcome to episode number 4 of Ask Jerry Tachoir. If you want to ask me a question, simply go to my website at tachoir.com, that's Tachoir.com, and up on the top right menu, there's a Contacts tab. Just click on that, fill in the blanks, ask your question, and I'll either get back in touch with you or we'll do one of these videos. My question today comes from Tyler in Sacramento, California. Hello, Jerry. Thanks so much for your videos. Living in an area where I have no one to study with, these educational videos have been my lifeline. I have your 2 Master Study Series videos and watched your 10 mallet tips on YouTube and thoroughly enjoy this Ask Jerry series. Your recorded vibe sound is beautiful and very clean and clear. Could you talk about your recording technique and how you get such a good sound? Best, Tyler. I'd be delighted to, Tyler. I'll give you all my information, but then I have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. I think I could narrow the sound that I get into 3 elements. The first one being, of course, my choice of instruments. I have been a Musser endorser and a clinician since being signed by Mr. Ludwig when I was a junior in high school, somewhere around 1972. I hate to admit that. And I've used their instruments and have loved the sound that I get out of Musser instruments, the warmth, the quality, the build quality, everything about the instrument just makes sense to me. And I'm so glad that I had this endorsement because this is the instrument that I wanted to play. And it's also the instrument that has become the standard around the world in terms of mallet sounds and quality. So this is an instrument that definitely gives me the sound that I want. The second thing, the second element I want to talk about is obviously, my choice of mallets. I'm very fortunate in that I have an endorsement with Innovative Percussion. They make my JT23 Jerry Tachoir mallets, and this is something that we put a lot of thinking into. I wanted a general mallet that's going to allow me to play soft and also be heard, be aggressive, but without the popping and bright, brittle sound that you get out of hard mallets. I wanted a mallet that when I hit the bars, you can hear a real strong fundamental of the warm Musser bars without the clanking of a hard mallet. I also wanted a mallet that allowed me to go from vibraphone and marimba and back and forth without having to juggle a bunch of different mallets and keep track of it. Because when I'm playing, I don't really have time to be grabbing mallets. I have to find a general mallet that works in all my situations. So this mallet works very well for me. Now the third element is obviously the recording equipment. I'm very fortunate again to have a relationship with Audio Technica, and I use their condenser microphones. They're very good quality microphones, and they're somewhat affordable. Again, the microphone is your first point of sound entering into the recording console. And on the console side, I have a digital recording console that I use. It's made by Tascam. It's called a DM4800. So it is becoming my interface then from the microphones to the console, which is then the interface to the computer. And I'm running Apple's Logic recording software, which is DAW, called a DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. What I found out, and I've been recording for quite a long time, back in the analog world, meaning tape, the vibraphone is a really, really difficult instrument to record. When you hit a bar, not only do you hear the fundamental tone, but you hear the harmonics, and then you hear all these transients, which are the upper structure, way high, almost inaudible sounds that go along with the bar. Now, these transients are so fast that the VU meters, that even though they look like, yeah, everything is reading perfect, it shouldn't be any kind of distortion, the VU meters are not fast enough to pick up the transients that are essentially saturating tape. So you have to use your ears to really hear what's going on. I have so many times I'd gone into the booth to listen back to my recorded vibe sound, and the engineer is very proud. Yeah, he got everything, nothing peaked, everything. But I hear this wax papery sound, and I said, now look, you can't just watch the meters. You have to use your ears to hear what's going on in the tape. So you listen to the tape coming back, and you'll hear this wax papery sound. So what you have to do is, in the analog world, is back it down so that nothing comes anywhere near saturation. Now, in analog, you have tape hiss, and a lot of people call it, yeah, the warmth of the analog world. And to me, honestly, it's just tape hiss. And the tape hiss is something that you want to saturate with your recorded vibe sound so that you get enough level on the tracks to basically mask the tape hiss. So that's why engineers are so used to really trying to crank what they can and saturate tape. Fortunately, in the digital world, this doesn't exist for the simple reason that, well, let me specify, the absolute perfect human hearing is from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. There's like nobody who can hear that perfectly. However, if there was, that would be the spectrum that the human ear can hear. So what they've done then in the digital world is they capped it off at 20 kilohertz, which means anything above 20 kilohertz is not recorded. So all those transients that normally come out on vibes and saturate and cause distortion don't exist in the digital world. Now, with that being said, yes, you can still distort digital recordings by exceeding the capability of the digital recorders by going above 0. If anything goes into the red, it's a horrible sound in digital. So, but if you stay low, stay within a nice level of a recorded level, then later on, if you need more gain, you can just increase it 3 dB, 6 dB, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. So, 3 elements. Choice of instruments obviously gives you the quality sound. Choice of mallets to give you a nice fundamental of the instrument without that real attacky sound. And again, your recording gear. Now, when I do record, and I go into the mix later on, there are certain times that I will, depending on the room, depending on who I'm playing with and the environment, I will adjust frequencies of specific areas, and I'll go into like a graphic equalizer. Maybe I'll boost the mid-range just a little bit, and I'll cut the high end just to get a real nice, warm, mellow sound. I don't like the cutting, bright, just hard sound. I don't like that. So I look for something rounded and mellow. And then later on, obviously, you're going to add a little bit of reverb, something to kind of give it just a nice ambiance. Now, you have to be careful with reverb. If you're recording a fast tune, you can't have a reverb with a long tail because then it gets very muddy and just sounds terrible. So you have to be real careful and have a short reverb. But when you're playing a nice ballad, you can put a nice, thick, juicy reverb in it, and it sounds great. So that's basically all I have to offer you in terms of trying to get a good recorded vibe sound. Again, it's a challenge with this instrument. Now, marimba is easy. Marimba, for some reason, you can go and it's just analog, digital, it doesn't matter. It records very well. So keep that in mind, and as you're playing, be sensitive to what it's sounding like, and make sure you're not clipping anything or getting anywhere near 0 in the digital world, and you should be fine. Hope that helps. Thank you. Also, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, if you click on the subscribe button, I will then be able to notify you when the next videos come out. So hopefully that'll work for you, and take care. Thank you so much.